Hey guys, that's right. Welcome to What's Happening in Central Oregon.
Welcome.
The every 2-week podcast where we talk about what's happening in Central Oregon. Pretty easy. Usually talking about news and development news. So thanks for joining us. News, business news, development news, and other development news, construction stories that impact Central Oregon, people who live here in Central Oregon. So thanks for joining us, and we're going to get into our news stories for today. Yeah.
Today.
All right. And then again, just simple intros. My name's John, and this is my wife Shannon, and we are with the Crown Real Estate team. And so, we happen to know sometimes what's going on. So
Good to know.
That, and we watch the news a lot. So anyway, today's top stories for today, we're going to talk about. Today's a big transportation day.
It's a lot of roundabouts.
Yeah, kind of in a roundabout way.
No.
We're going to hit all these stories.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, we could be really punny if we wanted to. So, Reed Market Roundabout. There's a neighborhood association, and that is really kind of concerned about the Reed Market Roundabout, and rightly so.
Yeah,
because it's probably the busiest roundabout in all of town.
Reed Market in general is fun.
It's fun.
Fun.
So, Reed Market Roundabout backups. Yep. We're also going to talk about the FAA is giving money to the Bend Airport. Again, actually, they gave money for the tower, and now they're giving us some more money, which is great. Another roundabout coming soon to the west side. That one's got kind of interesting because it's actually not the city of Bend that's going to be paying for it. Yeah. Which is kind of weird. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep. Then we're also going to talk about the state legislature is working on securing statewide more transportation funds.
Okay.
Transportation funds. Yeah.
Transportation funds. Seems like they're always asking for those.
Everybody's always asking for more transportation funds. There's a new hire at Bend coming soon to help with permitting. 2 weeks ago, we talked about a new program where I think it was the state. Was it the state that said, look, you have to make your permitting decisions faster. Yes. You can't take whatever it is, 180 days, wherever it was. Now you got to take 90 days to get your permitting stuff done. Yeah. Well, so the city is, I guess, I don't know if this happens to do with that thing or not, but they have made a new hire, and it's supposed to help, supposed to help how things go with permitting, speeding up permitting. Then the Galveston Road project. This is something we didn't really know. We didn't know until like a week ago, but the Galveston corridor there, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about it. Galveston corridor is getting ready to have a total facelift, a glow up.
A glow up. I like it.
And, but again, like everything else transportation, there are critics out there that say it's not going far enough. So anyway, we'll talk about that. Yep.
So this is a separate article from what we talked about. This is a new.
Yes.
Critics.
Okay. And then the top, I think this is the coolest story of the whole bunch. Amazon, this will be our end story. Amazon is finally building a warehouse here in Central Oregon.
That is huge.
Yes. And so we'll talk about what that means as we get into it. So let's go ahead and jump into Let's dive into our first story. I'll go ahead and pull it up on screen here, I think. Except for that's the Amazon one. That's not the one we're talking about. All right. Bend residents urged to speak out on troublesome roundabout that could choke wildfire evacs. Okay, so if you guys don't know where this is the the Reed Market roundabout right there at the corner of the Old Mill District.
Yes.
Where what is it?
Would that be long? No.
Well, no, it probably says it in here. What is the name of that road? Brookswood. That's what I was trying to say. Brookswood. So it's Reed Market, Brookswood. Goodness, yes. And then and Bond Street, right near the Old Mill District. So it's backed up all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Like always.
Always.
Especially in the morning and in the evening. Yeah. Especially at all hours. So the Southern Crossing Neighborhood District. Now, for those who don't really know, kind of like in New York, I would assume they've got all these different, they've got the Bronx, they just, Queens, they've got these different neighborhood areas that they talk about. Yeah. Well, we have those in Bend too. It's just that most people don't really know about them. So there's 13 neighborhood districts in Bend, and this particular roundabout sits right in the middle of the Southern Crossing Neighborhood District.
Okay.
I love the Southern Crossing Neighborhood District because it's basically the Old Mill.
Yeah.
And there's tons of cool stuff in the Old Mill. It's one of our, favorite areas. I mean, just the shopping, the amenities, the river, the parks, it's all right there. It's so awesome. But it also is a bit of a choke point.
It is.
So it's one of the only ways to get across the river from the west side, from kind of Century, Summit. I mean, it's just, if you have to get to the south side of the southeast side of Bend, that's the only way to get across.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because you would go Reed, and then you could. I mean, the only other one is, what is that, Simpson? No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Colorado Bridge.
Colorado Bridge.
Right.
Then,
So the neighborhood district is saying that, look, this is actually everybody's heightened right now because of fire danger, wildfire danger.
LA has definitely set a tone.
Yeah.
To a lot of council people.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I wonder how many of them are from LA. No, never mind. We'll get off that. And so, and the real problem is it a fire risk? And that's what they're saying. They're claiming that it's a fire risk. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, I can see their concern, because there's no way to get across the river unless you go all the way up, and then all of that is just going to be funneled into Newport Market. All of those.
Yeah.
And those aren't going to move very fast.
But not only that.
And you have the forest, like the national forest, right on that edge. So it's like, if it comes this way, I mean, in order to get out, they're going to have that problem.
But here's the other thing that's interesting. There really aren't that many ways to get off of the Brookswood corridor either. If you think about the Brookswood corridor, it's either, what is it, Is it Powers? What's the one
Powers, and then you got Reed, and then you have Murphy.
So that's it. There's three. There's only three ways.
It's that new roundabout that takes you to the end of the bypass by, like, Safeway and Walmart too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the problem is
DR Dub and take Neff, but
so there's basically four ways to get out off of that, and there's a lot of homes in the Brookswood.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing: they're going to put a lot more homes in that area. Remember, Polish has got that area where the irrigation district is going in over there.
Yeah.
Right. So there's actually going to be even more homes, hundreds more, maybe thousands more residential units coming to that area of town. Now it's already across the river.
Yeah.
But even then, there's only 4 outs there. So there is a lot of congestion for that roundabout. Now, you and I know Sarah Jo, who actually did a test run. She runs one of the companies that does the flagging for the road construction and stuff. And she was actually awarded, I think, like a test run this is years ago, to see what the traffic is on that intersection, because they were going to test run a light, like a traffic light program on a roundabout, which is kind of weird.
That would be interesting.
But they did it. They ran it. They ran traffic lights on the roundabout for a week or a day or something like that, just to test and see what it is. Now, that was really interesting, because I've never heard of a traffic light on a roundabout before.
No, people barely know how to use a roundabout. I don't know if we could do a lighted roundabout.
Maybe it's maybe it was just like a super high traffic. They'll use the light because that can be more effective.
Kind of like an on-ramp to a freeway.
Yeah. I hate those too, but I guess they're really important during high traffic times. I don't know. So the city of Bend actually has a plan for making that a double lane roundabout. And the problem is, and that's kind of what they're asking for. They're like, hey, let's get more traffic going through this roundabout. The problem with that is, I think they were scheduled to be completed by 2026, but that was kind of a long time ago when they were planning it, and the city council's plans have changed. Now it looks like it's going to be starting in 2028, with construction slated to finish in like 2030, which is 5 years from now. And that's probably after a lot of these new developments are going to be rolling and stuff. So there's going to be a lot more traffic. They wanted to get the roundabout done before, and it looks before this new neighborhood comes in there off of Brookswood, before all these other neighborhoods are happening over on the west side, because there is some more development. We're always developing. We're always growing. So this is kind of a concern. There's a lot of traffic coming to that particular roundabout, and the neighborhood district, the Southern Crossing Neighborhood District, is urging the city council to address this sooner, because there's definitely a risk there of wildfire, and there's definitely a lot of congestion going on right there. I avoid that roundabout as much as I can.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that story. Cool. So what do you guys think, people out there? If you're watching, let us know your thoughts. I mean, it's kind of fact at this point. It's one of the busiest roundabouts in Bend. But hey,
Yeah.
are you in favor of the new development that's going on over there off the Brookswood? Are you in favor of making it a 2-lane? Are you in favor of putting in a stoplight? Or do you think that would be really, really weird? I kind of think it'd be weird. I don't know.
Or is this a concern for you in this area?
Yep, exactly. All right, moving on to our next story here. There we go. There's a new one. FAA awards Bend $2.1 million to upgrade taxiways and boost airport lifespan. Yeah. So, did we talk last time about the air traffic control tower?
Yeah.
We did. Okay, so we talked about the new air traffic control tower.
Or was that the Redmond's tower?
No, that was this one.
Okay.
So
because
Bend,
it's going to be one of the tallest buildings, right?
that's going to be the new tower that they're currently building right now in Bend is going to be the tallest structure in Bend. It's going to be taller than the Oxford Hotel downtown. Taller
than what is the new condos next to the box factory?
Yeah. It is. That's a little higher up, so it appears taller. But I think the Oxford is the tallest.
It's on platforms.
It's on platforms, exactly. So the new tower there is going to be the tallest building structure, and it's really impressive that it's really great that we have a tower because the Bend Airport is like the second or third busiest airport in the state, which is wild. It's got 140,000 takeoff and landings per year.
That's crazy.
And it didn't have a tower. It was just whatever. And that was also a lot of that tower was awarded because of a grant from the FAA, money approved from the FAA. But now they're giving us more money.
Yeah.
So more money for taxiways because apparently our taxiways are, if you've ever been to the airport,
few and far between.
No, they've got the taxiways, but like the asphalt is, kind of deteriorating, crumbling. It's like boom, boom, and then you're rolling, and it's like boom, boom, and then you're rolling, and
that's fun.
Boom, boom. Yeah, we have that here in our neighborhood. So anyway, there's not a whole lot more to this story. It's just that I think that there was $22.7 million combined in federal grants that are being allocated to 7 different airports here in the state. 15 million is going to the Portland airport. 3 million is going to Hillsborough Airport. 2 million is going to Bend. 1.5 for Eugene. 200,000 to Corvallis. 200,000 to Burns, and $76,000 to the Joseph State Airport. They're going to reseal their existing runway. Apparently, it's got the boom boom thing going on too. So they're going to reseal that. This is a big win for the airports, keeping them up to speed. I mean, it's our infrastructure. Like I told you, this is Transportation Day.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, new roundabout project.
Wait, a roundabout?
Here we are. Coming to our next topic. Northwest Bend roundabout project.
Ooh.
It's close to a major intersection is going to close a major intersection for 2 months. Honey, have you ever seen a roundabout take only 2 months to build?
No, absolutely not. I think we should place some bets on this.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Here, let me pull up the map here. Let's show viewers where we're going. If you're just listening to this, I apologize. You won't be able to see the map, but this is actually at the corner of Skyline Ranch Road and Skyliners Road. So if you're familiar with where the schools are, it's like, Summit and Miller and what's the third one? Summit, Miller, and Pacific Crest, or is that the other one? Anyway,
I think
it's right there as you're heading out towards Phil's Trail, to be honest. If you're going in Northwest Crossing, you're heading to Phil's Trail. It's Broken Top. Let me go up here, and I got the map up now. We're taking a look at it. It's going to go right. Boop, 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 there.
So how are people supposed to?
Right here?
Yeah, Pacific Crest.
Yep. Pacific Crest, yes. So that's where this new roundabout is going. And you tell us out there, is that I've never been backed up there before.
Well, we also are not in that area around school.
That's why I'm asking.
I know.
Everybody out there watching, if you're in the Northwest Crossing area or the Discovery West area, does that intersection get really busy? I mean, is it tough to pull out on a Skyliners Road? I'm actually kind of confused about this. But the good news is,
I guess people can take this route to go.
Maybe it's a thing when high school gets out, that all of the kids are coming out through high school. Maybe it's a high school time.
When really you're in Northwest Crossing and the high school is out for lunch and stuff like that, it is kind of a cluster. But and I could see that being an issue, but you also have all of Discovery West that's being built, all of that more traffic more homes. Who's going to be responsible for this roundabout?
Okay, thanks. I'm glad you asked. This is actually not being built by the city of Bend. Do you remember a long time ago when we were in our meetings talking about Discovery West, and they were talking about the infrastructure?
Yeah.
And how the city
said, if you want to build this neighborhood, you have to do all this stuff.
That's exactly right. The city said, look, if you want to build out this ultra high-end awesome neighborhood called Discovery West, wink, wink, then you're going to have to help with the actual infrastructure because the city doesn't have the money, the funding, or the plans to do this. So literally Brooks Resources at the time, now Taylor Brooks or Brooks Taylor, they combine with Taylor Development to form one super development company. They are basically the ones responsible for doing all of the development on the west side right now. So I think they're even doing some of the road construction that happened like on Chevron Park. So,
yeah, because there was problems with
on
the
Chevron
sewer
Road,
line.
yeah, all the way into town by like Newport Market on Newport Avenue. I think they're doing some of that.
But I think some of the development on that was with not tree line.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, tree line. That's Curtis.
Yeah, could be, yes.
Yeah.
So in either case, Discovery West, the developers of Discovery West, Brooks Taylor, Taylor Brooks, I can't get them. That merger only happened about a year and a half ago, so I'm not sure that I can't keep forgetting the name. One of the two.
Pardon us if we're saying it.
Pardon us if we're saying it wrong. They're putting in the roundabout right here.
Right.
So that's great. This is also basically, this is one of the main entrances into Discovery West. You just have to drive by the school. So this is the actual kind of main entrance right here into Discovery West. It goes into here, and this is a really old, I can't believe Google hasn't updated this satellite
come
image
on,
right
Google.
now. Man, this is like old. They don't have the school there. And that Pacific Crest Middle School has been there for a while. And then, of course, this right here is another main arterial entryway into that. So they're building this out right here. And again, according to the news story, it's only going to take 2 months. So I'm with you.
It's either going to be not a very pretty roundabout
Well,
or they have all their ducks in a row way more than the city.
exactly, right? If they can actually do this in 2 months, that should be a case study for the city to follow because, I mean, the other thing is I wanted to talk about the...
when is this supposed to start?
Actually, it's going to start June 16th.
Oh, snap. Yeah.
And they say it's going to continue through August.
Okay, so school will be out. So for all you people that have your kids in summer camps up there at Pacific Crest,
do
take note on this because this will create a huge problem when you're trying to drop off and pick up. Yeah. Sorry, mom worry there.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's a good tip because there are a lot of camps that happen out there.
Oh, absolutely. Jordan Kent camp, there's an art camp, all sorts of stuff.
Yes. But this also...
I can't imagine. I'm thinking 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, probably 4.
You think 4?
I think 4. I don't think 2.
No.
I don't really think 6 either, though. So here's the other thing: the roundabout on the far east side that's happening right now, Yeoman and Deschutes Market Road.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, if you're in town, stay away from Empire. It is a freaking zoo right now because all of that traffic is being routed through Empire.
Yeah.
And my goodness, we can't go that way anymore.
Well, a lot of people used to take Deschutes Market and go back that route to get to the east side. If you're working at the hospital, schools, all those kind of things, people just kind of did that instead of taking the bypass all the way in because the bypass also gets backed up too. And with the new, off ramp and stuff, it's just
it's a mess.
People got used to taking that route, and so now it's completely even more mess. We have a lot of construction that's happening this summer.
I know, right? Yeah, Galveston's going to start. I don't know if it's going to start in the middle of summer. They're going to wait till the shoulder season in the fall to start, but the Galveston thing's going to... Wait a minute, is that what we're talking about next?
So, wait, no, we just need this to be on camera. What is your bet on this roundabout?
Ooh, on the Northwest Crossing one? September 30th.
Oh, you're going specific date. Okay.
Have
fun. September 30th. Okay, I'm saying October 15th.
Ooh, okay. There we go. It's on camera. You saw it here.
You saw it.
And then again, big tip, stay away from Empire because that east side
it is
that's a mess.
Brooks Taylor, man. Are we totally...
They might crush it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they're going to prove us wrong. Oh, I hate to lose.
All right, next story. Again, more transportation stuff. So next story is Central Oregon awaits to fix state transportation funding. Now, I don't have enough of the backstory. I don't know why we lost transportation funding. I know that there's been a dip in transportation funding because a lot of Oregon state transportation funding comes from a gas tax. And as we know, electric vehicles don't need gas. And there's a lot more electric vehicles running on the road these days.
You think it's because of that?
That's what they, I mean, that's part of what they say here.
They're blaming it on?
That's what they're blaming it on. So
they're blaming this on Elon?
actually, city officials from Bend and Redmond are actually on a transportation, kind of tour of cities last week, and they're hammering home the gravity of the situation. We need more transportation funding for here statewide. And so the state legislature is working on a bill, and guess what? I say, guess what? You got to say what?
Oh, what? I have a feeling it's a tax.
They want to raise taxes. Democrats who control the legislature introduced a framework for a transportation package last month that would inject $1.9 billion every 2 years for maintenance of the state's transportation system through an increase in taxes and fees. All right, well, I mean, how else are we going to do this, I guess, right?
And this is going to be put on who?
Well, all of us.
Is this property taxes?
Actually, no. It says it here. Hang on. I had highlighted this story, the things that I really wanted to mention, but then we had to close down the site.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is it? Oh, here we go. ODOT officials have called for a new way to generate revenue for the fund, mostly due to declining revenues from the state gas tax because of the rise in electric vehicles. The Democrats' proposal suggests raising the gas tax from 40 to 60 cents per gallon, but over the next 7 years. So that's a big raise. That's like a 50% raise, right? From 40 to 60, that's 20 cents more. But over the next 7 years through a phased approach, and at least it would be phased. Can you imagine if that jumped up like that fast?
Yeah.
The tax would then be indexed to rise along with inflation. It also suggests raising registration and title fees. I'm pretty sure our title fees are already pretty expensive. Phasing in new road user fees and bumping other taxes to support transit and rail. Here's what's funny. Republicans have responded with a proposal of their own that would, instead of raising fees for roads, they're just going to take away revenue, $730 million in state funding for programs like transit bicycle projects and agency staff and redirect it to basic maintenance.
So they're going to use the money that's already...
I think they're looking at, they're going to just take money they already have and reallocate it versus it looks like the Democrat proposal, they just want to raise the taxes on people. So, well, that's interesting.
I just feel like they're always asking for transportation tax. Like somewhere in there, they need to look at their books.
So this is mostly going to be for counties and bigger, so the city gets money from the state for city roads. Yeah. But the county, gets a lot of that as well. So that this is like a statewide, a little bit for everybody. But then the city of Bend is also always trying to raise money themselves because they have to raise a certain amount of money for their own streets. Because this is only.
So between the city and the state
and the county, that's where all their budget comes from. So
we all need to look at our books. Yeah.
Exactly. So, Interesting, right?
I would like to know how many electric cars there are in Oregon.
I wonder, what do you think the percentage is? 25%? Which that would blow me away.
That would be huge.
Well, yeah, but I mean, gosh, you look around. 25%. I bet it is in California.
Well.
There's a lot of electric cars in California.
But then again, have you seen the gas in California?
Oh, I'd probably
we were down there a couple weekends ago, man.
$4.
Yeah.
Or more. Anyway, this is really interesting to see what's going to happen here. Apparently we are halfway through the 2025 Oregon legislative session, and they're trying to get something done, which is great. I would love for them to get something done. That would be awesome. But the bill is yet to be introduced. I think they're working on it, and I think at some point they will introduce it. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to get this done during this this year's legislative session.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Let's move back to more local news. Bend is aiming to streamline a development review process with a new hire, right? So I think they had somebody before that their role was a little bit more limited. They were looking at something very specific, the urban renewal project, which is in certain areas of Bend. That person left, so there's been a permitting vacancy, and now they're trying to find somebody. Really, I read this article and I thought it was kind of interesting because what they say is when developers go through, they're looking at different. It has to go through these different phases, right? And there's these different people in different permitting departments, and it has to go from this to this to this to this. Well, if the first person finds a problem,
start all over.
Then they address it, and they talk to so and so, and they go, yeah, we're gonna alleviate that by doing this, by doing this, by doing this. They go, oh, okay, that's fine. Then it goes to the next part, and that person's like, whoa, what about this thing? We're like, we already talked about that, and so and so said we could fix it by doing this. Okay, fine. And then it resets the clock and it resets everything. And the developer has to talk to 3 or 4 or 5 different people within the city department in order to get a project done. What is the title they gave this guy? They gave this guy a name. They want it to be no, that's not what it is. What is it called? They're naming it Community Development Director. No. That's a partnership. There's this Development Navigator. They want to call this new person the Development Navigator. And apparently other cities.
And there's only one?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think this is for bigger, larger projects. In fact, they had a little picture of the Bend Village Resort here, which is going up like crazy. We were over there yesterday.
Because they have their ducks in a row.
In a roundabout way.
Oh.
Back at you. So,
and everybody turned off.
Stop listening to this podcast with the cheesy dad pun jokes. So they think, anyway, the point is they've got somebody new in there, or they're going to have somebody new in there that's going to basically be a conduit between the developer, this one person, and then this one person is going to help work with all of the other people in the codes department to help smooth out the whole process.
Well, it's so true. You get going on a project and then you get stalled because so-and-so doesn't have their updated codes, or they're saying you need something and when in reality you don't need it. And it becomes this huge cluster, and then it ends up taking 3 times longer than it should.
I would imagine that this is going to be a pretty intensive position where the candidates must really know a lot about development.
You would hope so.
And know a lot about the city codes and know a lot about how the little intricacies relate to each other.
Yeah.
If you get somebody that's just, I framed for 30 years, that's great, but you don't know about, the roads, or you don't know about the water, or you don't know about the roofing, or you don't know about everything else,
Sewer codes.
But if this is probably going to be a pretty badass person that's in this position that knows their stuff forward and backwards, because they're going to smooth it out for all the developments.
Has to do with how the state said that they need to respond to their permits quicker.
And what people think is that this will lead to quicker approvals, quicker.
Did they put the person's name in here in this?
No, I don't know if they've technically.
And their phone number. And
I don't know if they've officially hired the person. Maybe they have. They didn't make an announcement on whether or not they definitely hired the person. But I think this is a good
luck, whoever's in this job.
Good luck, whoever's in this job.
I wish you the best.
All right. Let us know what you think about that. Hopefully, is it one more cog that's going to clog things up, or is it one more cog in the wheel that's actually going to smooth things out?
I hope so.
Hope it's going to smooth things out. All right. Here's an interesting one. And this is, again, we're back to transportation. This is almost all been about transportation.
There will be no roundabouts on Galveston.
That's correct, actually. Woo. Well, there's one up there.
That's been there. The Flaming Chicken.
The Flaming Chicken. Galveston Avenue Safety Project is at a crossroads. Now, I think this is a little inflammatory. I think they're I suspect that we're making a little bit bigger of a deal here than there actually is. But let's just hear it out. First of all, the Galveston Corridor Project, right? They're taking that really popular section right there between the river where people get out at the Riverbend Park, they float under the bridge there. They get out, and then all the way up to the Flaming Chicken, like you said, is right there where Perea is, and Victorian Cafe is on the other side. And that whole strip right there is a very popular summer spot, right? Lots of people like literally walking up and down on their bathing suits because they just got out of the river. There's restaurants, there's, shops, there's bars, there's breweries, there's all kinds of stuff there. 10 Barrel, Brother John's, all of that stuff. Well, it's, due for a glow up, right? And they actually had plans. Gosh, where was it? They've had plans to do this glow up for a long time. It is, where is it? I'll show you. It is, they've had plans to do this since, oh man, where is it?
I thought it was said.
I know, they're 10, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years that they've had a story, that they've had plans to do this road. So, yeah. So it's been 10 years since they've been planning to do this glow up. And then, COVID hit and things took a break and blah, blah, blah. But now they're ready to go. Yeah, 2014, that's what it is. The public process for Galveston first began in about 2014. And final plans weren't approved until 2020. So it already took them 6 years to approve plans. Hopefully this new guy that we just talked about in the last story can get through this a lot faster, because holy smokes, 8 years to change the road. Yikes. So the point is, they've got this plan and it's going to cost $2 million, which is great. Now,
no way.
Well, that was from 2020. So there's going to be some inflation, I'm sure. But the original plan was for the original plan is for $2 million. Now they have budgeted $4 million. But guess what? People are saying their new plan is not public safety enough. It's not safe enough for bikes and pedestrians. And they have a really great opportunity here to do more to make this more pedestrian safe. Let's look at the plan here. Okay. So you can pull this up, and this is where coupons found. How do I even get out of that? I don't even know how to do it. Oh my gosh, how annoying. Here we go. Here we go. This is the Galveston Corridor Project. So again, the city wants to do this, but
do you want to share it?
Other people, I'm not even showing this. Oh my gosh, Thank you. I'll put that up.
I got you.
Oh, great. Then they didn't see that ad that came up. It was really
Capital One.
Distasteful. Was that all it was?
Yeah, it was Capital One.
So get a credit card. So they've got this plan, but then people say they want it to be better. They want it to be more safe.
More safe or more
The city is all about safe right now, but this plan is 10 years old, or more. So they're like, well, we can make it safer. Here's what they plan to do. First of all, this is where it shows right here. This is the section of street. Obviously, the river's right here, and then the roundabout's right there. They want to make it more like a boulevard here, where there's a median down the middle with like grass and trees and stuff like that down the middle of the road. Okay. And then they're going to put another median in between the road and the sidewalk, right? And where they have trees and stuff.
They have cyclists.
Exactly. And then they already have a 5-foot bike path.
Yeah, with a 2-foot gap.
With a 2-foot gap and then a 10-foot lane for cars.
Yeah.
So they've already separated. So literally, if you're just listening,
it looks like you can park in between this too.
You'll be able to park. Like if you needed to take a left-hand turn right there in the middle of the median, there'll be little cutouts to take a left-hand turn, and then there'll be little medians cut out for parking as well.
Which is really confusing when you park in between the walk and the cycle, and it looks weird.
Sometimes,
like cars are just like
sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, I think so. Again, for you listening, there is an 8-foot sidewalk, which is huge, right?
That is an
8-foot sidewalk. There's an 8-foot kind of not median, but there's an 8-foot green space that will have carve-outs for parking.
Yeah.
There's then a 5-foot, we're going from left to right. There's a 5-foot, now you're onto the actual street. There's a 5-foot cycle path. There's a 2-foot buffer in between that, and then an 11-foot roadway. And then there's another median in the middle.
Which is 11 feet.
And then it goes back to, where you can take left-hand turns, but there's also grass and trees in there if there's not a lane. It's just going to help the aesthetic and look really nice. Then again, you've got the other lane going the other way where you've got the road, 11 feet for the road, 2 feet buffer for the cyclist, another 5-foot cycle. Then you've got another 8-foot landscaping / parking buffer, and then an 8-foot walkway path.
I don't know if they have this much road to work with.
Apparently they do. There's easements and stuff that they'll end up kind of taking into. I think this is going to be great. I think it's going to be great.
Pretty.
And I think that, when people just complain that it's not safe enough for bikes, like this is a small little chunk of road. It's already very congested. They're intentionally making these roadways tighter, so that it forces you to kind of slow down.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that anybody's going to be ripping through here, hitting cyclists. And I know that I'm not I don't particularly cycle around town a lot, but sometimes I just feel like, the cyclists are like, hey, they want to raise, they want to be up on a curb, they want to be raised, they want a median in between the cars and the cyclists. And that's going to cost more money. Like, just let them get this done.
A median in between the cyclists and the cars is also going to make it harder for cars to get into the shops and the businesses. And they're also going to already have medians that are going to prohibit you from turning until you have a turning lane.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of those businesses are not going to get those patrons because it just became difficult to get to their business.
Exactly.
And
yeah, totally.
And
yeah.
I mean, because I think we talked about this before on this one, that, there's certain businesses that are already kind of like, I can't withstand another construction thing happening in front of my business. And so they are closing before this happens because they know they can't withstand it.
Right.
Which is a bummer.
Mm-hmm. I still think that this area is going to be a bright, vibrant area. I think it's going to be great. I just also, I agree with you. I don't know that we don't need to scrap the plan. Look, freaking took them 10 years this first time.
How much is this plan?
This is the $2 million plan. This is it.
This is the $2 million plan.
Yeah. There's some infrastructure stuff underneath that they should be doing, but they're not. That would make it an $8 or $9 million plan. And they're like, no. We don't have the money to do all of that. Let's just make it look pretty, and then we can do the infrastructure stuff later. I think that's kind of their plan. The study was the article was a little bit hard to understand. That's their plan. But if they could just do this for $2 million, just do it.
That seems like really good.
Just take an easy win.
City.
Yeah, just take an easy win. That's my. Let us know what you think out there. Like, do you want it to be even safer for cyclists in that area, or can we just take the easy win and just get it done? Like, I would love to just get it done. I think it'd be a big
is happening this summer.
It's supposed to start in 2025, which we're 5 months in. I don't know when they're going to technically start.
Hopefully in October.
Yes. Okay. Headline story. This is the big one, although there's probably not much to talk about. Amazon's Redmond delivery center expansion promises faster deliveries and new jobs. Yay!
This is exciting. This is a lot of jobs.
Yeah. 170. They say in other distribution centers that they've built in other small communities that are like this, they typically hire about 170 people.
Mm-hmm.
So they might hire 200, they might hire 100, but they say on average it's about 170 people.
That's a lot of jobs, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of jobs. Yeah, that's fantastic. So
and their starting wages around $23 and something cents.
$23 an hour. That's great.
Yeah, which is great. And it comes with benefits and healthcare, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So that's
great.
That is super. The building is going to be in Redmond. It's going to be about 84,000 square feet. This is a big bonus for us because
are they taking over an existing building or are they building a new building?
I think they're going to build one. It's Amazon. They need things to be smart, and they'll probably just make it all smart.
And I was listening to a conversation about this over the weekend on the radio, and this was in the works for a very long time. And Amazon is going to be responsible for this certain area where it's going in Redmond to helping with some of the infrastructure, kind of like what we were just talking about.
Oh, okay, with Northwest Crossing and Discovery West and how they helped with the infrastructure. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's, it's going more in the industrial area of Redmond.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Here's the thing. Here's why this makes sense. If you're in the area, you know this. If you're listening because you're thinking about moving to the area or something like that, and you're just doing some research on Central Oregon, Amazon's not like, it's not like it is here like it is in other areas.
Are you saying that Amazon Prime is not 2 days on?
Not always. Okay. So here's the thing.
Not always, like not ever.
So Amazon, look, we use it like all the time. We use Amazon all the time. Not ashamed to say it. It's awesome. But when we go, like my mom lives in Tennessee. She's actually moving out here. She'll be here in a few days. But we would go to visit her. And if we needed something, she would just, Nashville, like there's like, headquarters everywhere. It's like big. So she would literally just on her phone, she could watch it like an Uber being delivered to her house.
It's like within 2 hours.
Same day. I was like, holy smokes, Mom, are you kidding me? And she's like, yeah. You don't have this? I'm like, no.
Like when you're planning for Christmas, you got to have like a 2-week window just to make sure, especially during like major holidays, it's going to take like 5 days to get here. The 2-day delivery thing was cool before COVID, and then COVID ruined it, and then it never really fully rebounded. Yeah.
And so it's still not really 2 days. And I think everyone just kind of gave up on that.
major first world
But
problems.
in big metro areas, you can get something delivered to yourself in hours.
Yeah.
And for us,
I mean, let's not have impractical expectations for this distribution center, but
no, I don't think there's going to be drones just flying over Smith Rock, dropping packages on our doorstep. But I do think that this will, and they think that this will dramatically increase delivery times, which would be fantastic. Because I mean, we've ordered stuff before, and then the mountain pass getting hammered, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a delay on your package. It's not going to be here for an extra couple days, and we know it's because the mountain just got hammered with snow, like in the winter, right?
Yeah.
So this is, I don't know, I'm super stoked about this. I think this is great.
I think it's great for everything.
Yeah.
For the community.
Oh, and there's something else in another article. It's not in this one. Oh man, maybe do I have the other article? This is just really interesting. I just wanted to say it on the air here. They're building one in what's the big outlet mall?
Oh, Woodburn.
Woodburn outlet. Yeah, Woodburn. Is that what it is?
Woodburn's where
okay. So they're building an Amazon delivery or distribution center there. It's going to be absolutely enormous. Hold on. I want to find this. Is it in this one? You just got to hear this. You've got to hear this. It is. Oh, come on. Oh, is it not in this story either? It is like one. Oh, the story will be updated. This is not the right one either. They're building a distribution center in Woodburn that's like 2.3 million square feet.
Oh my gosh.
Million square feet. It is gonna be huge. I mean, I can't even. Oh, that's what it was. I looked it up because I was like, what does this equate to?
Yeah.
It equates to the size of Disneyland.
No way.
I swear.
No, fact check him, please.
The size of Disneyland. That's how many square feet this one Amazon distribution building will be in Woodburn.
No way.
Yes.
You're gonna
Isn't that crazy?
find that to prove
I looked it up. Like I chat GPT'd it. It never lies. I'm just kidding. Guys, this was fun. Thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed some of our banter.
Hopefully this was helpful.
You got any for good of the order here?
What?
Do you have anything to end for good of the order? These poor people are listening. They're like, let me go.
Yeah.
Let us go already. All right. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, if you or somebody know you're looking to buy or sell here in the area, we're also in real estate. So we don't just report the news.
Yeah.
We help people in real estate. So reach out, crimerealestate.com. Thanks for watching. And we will see you in 2 weeks for our next episode.